Hello, everybody. We're back to the Thursday calls, international real estate. Today we have an interesting topic, which is Dubai, with Michael Magee, all the way from UK, now in Dubai. Share more about his bio in a minute. Um, as always, please do introduce yourself if you are in this live call, name, where you're from, your current market, and what other countries you want to learn more about. Also, what are your goals from this group if you're a realtor or you are an investor? And that way, if you're not on the live call, you can put it in the comments and we can get to know you for the future calls. What's the purpose of this call? Networking, knowledge sharing from different countries, community building, because the more we get to know each other, the more we know about each other's market and can refer or send better referrals. You can send and share announcements here at the end of the call. So that way we can keep, the knowledge and the research coming. And also this is good for co-sponsoring because if you have somebody that you're thinking about attracting to Dubai, maybe you can get to meet Michael and have a co-sponsor partnership perhaps. So this is kind of opens the door to that, partnership that we have with EXP if you're part of that. And who is this for? Any real estate professional, from the real estate sales side to the lawyers, transactions, immigrations, anybody within the ecosystem that helps the transaction push through. This is good for new agents. This is good for non-EXP agents, EXP agents, so you can invite anybody to this call just so they can get to learn from here and ask questions live. Otherwise, they can ask it in the comments. Again, you guys know me, Nathaly Salas. This is my QR code if you want to scan me and follow us. We post all the notifications and anything that has to do with these calls in social media, so you can follow and then you'll get the notifications as well as in the WhatsApp chat right now. If you are part of the WhatsApp chat, feel free to scan these QR codes that are coming up. This is our company, and you guys know more about that. The intention of these calls are to keep it going weekly, because once we have, consistency, we have more, we can bring more guests, and then we know we can place them in the calendar. If you are following our calendar, you'll see that we have part 1 and part 2 of this call. Part 1 will be the theory, why the country, some background on what are the opportunities, infrastructure, maybe there's a new train, a new airport, and these things are, best said by the agents on the ground because they know what's coming. We can maybe read it in a newspaper, or well, who reads a newspaper, but you can read it on social media or any article, what's coming, but maybe it's like a month later or a few weeks later. While when you're here with our agents that are on the ground every day, they know what's coming. Probably they already heard the announcement 6 months ago. So then that brings you that competitive advantage to suggest your clients where might be a good opportunity to invest now, because you heard it from the first-hand agents on the ground. The second part is practice, which is what we're going to cover today. As you know, many countries don't have an MLS. So having data pulled together, it's an effort. And that's why thanks, Michael, for being part of this, because he's going to put some listings together and we can see the prices, how much per square foot, how much do you get for what, what are the prices of real estate closer to the water, etc. And this is the calendar we have right now coming up. As you guys, if you were here, we did Mexico for a couple of weeks in August. We're heading, we have the recording for Dubai. We'll share that also in the comments, in the description, so you can go back to Dunia's recording. But today we'll also cover some background. Michael will give us some why Dubai, and then also what are the prices. Next week we will have India for 2 weeks. I think this one is the 4th and the 11th, and we're confirming Ecuador right after that. So we'll update this once it's confirmed. Our agents there in Ecuador are working on their presentation right now. If you're not part of our community in school, we just created this launch. It's like 1 week old because we were seeing that WhatsApp was getting a little saturated. So the school community, you can scan this and join. It's free to join. Anybody can join. We just ask for an email or a social media link so we don't get spammers in here. We're trying to keep the community curated so you also don't get targeted with, people selling the services that are not related to international real estate. So scan this. I can post the link also in the description. And this is the link to the WhatsApp group. If you're more of a WhatsApp person, you are already part of the group right now, probably because you're here. But this is the group for those who are not. Okay, now I'll introduce Michael and he can take it over from here. So Michael is from UK originally. Now he's in Dubai. He's gonna share how many years. He's former property developer in the UK with solid experience in real estate development. Dubai expertise. He has a proven track record in Dubai competitive real estate market. Leads, I don't know how to say this, he's gonna tell us,
Quintessentially.
states
It's
in
a
Dubai.
mouthful.
It's like three words together. Part of the global
Yeah.
concierge group. Connects investors with exclusive property opportunities across UAE. And he's known for clarity, confidence, and market insights for guiding clients through Dubai's dynamic property landscape. And with that, Michael, if you want to share your screen, it's all yours.
I will indeed. Let me get.
Let me stop sharing my screen because you're gonna see all my tabs. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna pin you and remove my pin so you are in the spotlight.
How does that look?
Good.
Does that
Perfect.
look good? Okay.
Welcome, Michael.
Excellent. Can you hear me okay, everybody?
Yeah.
Yep.
Fantastic. Well, Nathaly, thank you very much for inviting me on this on your webinar. It's great to be here. Thank you so much for everybody taking the time out of your no doubt very busy day to hear about Dubai. Hopefully, you'll find it interesting. I'm going to kick right off. I don't need to tell you about myself too much. I've been to Dubai 3 years. I'm actually Irish. But lived and worked in London for a very long time developing properties. But we're here to talk about Dubai. So let's move on to why Dubai and why are so many people looking at the UAE as a both just an investment and as a location to move to. So the first thing that comes to mind is no annual property tax, no tax, zero capital gains, no income tax on your rental earnings, and the eviction laws really favour the landlord in Dubai. Although it's a very fair system, the eviction laws definitely are on the side of the landlord when it comes to investment. And it's a global city that is well known for being extremely safe in terms of the city itself. It's a very safe location. Now, Um, this was a Google search I did today. Millionaire migration in 2025. A record 142,000 millionaires are projected to relocate internationally, making it the largest transfer of capital in history. And obviously, it's driven by political tensions and the pursuit of tax stability. And funny enough, Dubai sits at the very top of that table as the location, the top location for many of those millionaires. And we're going to see why in a minute, but it's definitely something that your wealthy clients will have heard of because Dubai is really the number one destination for ultra high net worths. And let's see why. So, on a global price per square foot basis, Dubai is still undervalued. $1 million gets you more real estate in Dubai than almost any other prime global city. In some cases, it's 2 to 5 times the space. So, this chart shows how far your money goes in Dubai compared to other cities. So, $1 million will buy you 94 square meters of space compared to just 31 square meters of space in London and 31.9 square meters in Singapore. So you can see how this market is underpriced compared to other global cities. It's tax free, it's ranked as safe, it's got world class infrastructure, beaches, it's very much a luxury lifestyle. And obviously, the growing population is contributing to that. And it's emerging as a wealth hub for global high net worths, especially from the UK, Europe, Asia, and Africa. So, as more global capital flows into Dubai, we'll see lifestyle buyers, digital nomads, and wealthy families relocating. Dubai is now, as I said, the number one location for millionaires. So, um, On top of that, although I see there is a wide range of people from all over the world here, this particular presentation was aimed at UK investors. The pound, the sterling currency is extremely strong against the dollar stroke dirham at the moment, which means that if you are buying in sterling, your money goes probably around 10% more than it would have done a year ago. So not only are you getting very good value for money in terms of the price per square foot in Dubai compared to other global cities, if you're buying in sterling, your purchasing power means that you're getting around about 10% better than you would have done last year. So investors are not late, but they're not early either. So we're very much saying we're seeing this Dubai used to be further down this chart 2 or 3 years ago. It's steadily rising. Now, earnings. Dubai has very strong rental yields, typically between 5 to 8% annually. Now, compare that to major cities like New York, London, or Sydney. The yields can hover around 3 to 5%, and that can make a significant difference when you're on your bottom line when you're investing. You can get both capital growth and strong rental yield in Dubai. So, to give you an idea, the annual income difference between 4% net yield and is around $40,000 per year. A 7% net yield is $70,000 per year. So that's a $30,000 difference per year. A 3% difference in yield on $1 million investment isn't small. It's the equivalent of buying another income generating asset or even retiring earlier. Now, moving on, the Golden Visa program is actually a game changer for many international investors. So the program connects property investment to long-term residency. An investment of $2 million dirhams can secure you a 10-year residency visa. So that is $544,000 equivalent. And that is linked to a property investment and gives you the golden visa, access to the golden visa. So it can be off-plan investment or it can be a secondary ready property. You need to have paid, or the investor needs to have paid at least 24%. And you need to check that the developer qualifies for the program. But a good broker will be able to help you out with that. Okay, so this just is a table of the comparisons of similar golden visas or visas in other jurisdictions. In most other cities like or countries like Portugal, Spain, and Greece, you're still paying annual property taxes, wealth taxes, and or even high stamp duty fees. So Dubai's visa policy plus its very competitive tax regime is pretty much unmatched globally. So even if you were to move here, even if you were never to move here full time, a golden visa offers you lifestyle, opportunity, tax freedom, and geopolitical insulation, pardon me, all for the price of a smart real estate deal. So again, this really enhances Dubai's appeal to global investors. Now, the Dubai Master Plan of 2040 is like a long-term urban development strategy aimed to make Dubai the world's best city to live in. So it focuses on sustainability, livability, and economic growth. Key aspects include doubling the green and recreational areas to cover 60% of the emirate, significantly expanding beaches by 400%, and improving public transport accessibility. One of the criticisms I have of Dubai is that it's very much a car city. You need to use a car to get around. But that is improving and that is getting better and better with the public transport and the metro system, which is expanding every single year. So it really signals a commitment to sustainable growth and a high quality life, which translates to sustained demand for housing and commercial space. So the plan focuses on infrastructure, mixed-use development, and diversified urban centres, meaning new investment hotspots for potential and potential for capital appreciation. Okay, so this is my pick for entry level investment into Dubai. And this is a project that's launching very soon called Sol Levant in JVT. And JVT stands for Jumeirah Village Triangle. It's a very popular area, very close to the Palm and Dubai Marina. The project itself is located just here, if you can see this red dot. And this is the Palm that we all know about. It's Palm Jumeirah, and this is Palm Jebel Ali, which is in construction at the moment. Further down here, you have the Burj Khalifa on this side of the map. So this JVT was developed by Nakheel Properties, and it's a very tranquil and family-friendly area. To give you some idea of the facilities within this particular project, for an entry-level project, I'll get to the price in a minute. It's got some incredible facilities. You've got meeting rooms, yoga studios, an outdoor cinema, mini golf, tennis courts, barbecue areas, a co-working space, jacuzzis, paddle tennis, pet garden, running track, swimming pool. I think was there sauna there? Maybe it's not a sauna. Maybe there's not a sauna. I'm sure I saw sauna as well. It is really, really impressive whenever you look at what this particular developer is doing. It's a very big site, and it's one I'm very excited about. To give you an idea, we're looking at studios from $200,000 to $218,000. One bed, 1.5 beds. The one beds have actually all sold out pre-launch, but the 1.5 beds start from $349,000 to $416,000. And you're looking at 843 square feet per apartment up to 925. So that's a very generous size of apartment. Now in Dubai, you have the developers that offer off-plan investments, offer a payment plan. So here you can see there's a 10% on booking. So that's when the investor secures the investment. And then they will have to pay 40% over the construction. And you can see this particular project hands over in Q3 of 2028. And that 40% will be broken down into manageable payments throughout the construction period, with the final 50% paid upon handover. Okay. It's pre-sale at the moment. They have an escrow account already set up. That's a very important fact. When you're investing in off-plan in Dubai, the government require all developers to have what's called an escrow account, which protects the investor. Should anything happen, the developer, that money that you have invested is held in an escrow account. And it's only released to the developer in stages throughout the build. So it minimizes the investor's risk when investing. And this was a lesson that they learned from the early 2010, whenever they didn't have escrow accounts. And what would happen, unfortunately, was when investors invested in certain developers, and they didn't actually fulfill their obligations of developing the project. In some cases, the investors lost their money. So the developers fixed this, and this is one of the only countries in the world to have this escrow system that I'm aware of. So it's very investor friendly. And what you'll find out about Dubai, I'm not going to go into it in too much detail within this presentation, but this government, or the government, it's the same government, it's a same ruling family, are extremely business friendly and very much investor friendly. It's all about encouraging outside investment into the region. So, interesting point there. Service charge is only 15 dirhams per square foot. So, somebody could do the math for me on that. 843, you're looking at, well, I probably can't convert it into dollars off the top of my head, but it's 800 and, sorry, it's 15 dirhams per square foot. This is the 2.5 beds, starting at $476,000, up to $651,000 for a 1,200 square foot apartment. Um, these are interesting layouts in the sense that 2 beds probably don't perform as well as a 1.5 bed as an investment. But as the townhouse market gets more and more expensive, we're seeing more families move into 2 beds and 3 beds because they just are priced out of the townhouse market in Dubai, and there's just not enough townhouses being built. As I said, the 1 beds have all sold out. Now, this is a really, I'm really excited about this particular project. I've only shown one entry level project in this presentation. But of course, if anybody has clients or is even interested in just learning more, I can go into a lot more detail and show you a lot more projects in and around this price range. But I would say that this is the entry level price for Dubai. It's around $200,000. That's really where you should be looking at as an entry level to get your studio. Um, and to give you an idea, a studio in this location will rent for around about between 50,000 dirhams and 60 to 65,000 dirhams. To give you an idea in dollars, 50,000 is $13,000 and 65,000 is $17,000, $17,500. So that's an idea of the rental market in that location. On 1.5 beds, you're probably up between 75 and 90,000 dirhams. Okay, so moving on to the luxury segment of the market. Obviously, this is what Dubai is well known for. It actually outperforms New York and Hong Kong in terms of $10 million and above home sales in 2024. I'm going to touch on branded residences. Branded residences are hugely popular in Dubai, but not all branded residences are good investments. You have to have a complementary brand, in my opinion, to make a good investment. Um, this is one that I like. It's called the Residences by Arada. Um, Completion date is December 2027. It's it has a payment plan of 10% on booking, 50% over construction period. So that's a total of 60%, and then 40% on handover. Um, Now, uh, this is in a very prime location in Dubai Harbour, and you're looking at around $1 million entry level for a 1 bed, up to $1.5 million. And this is very much both an investment opportunity and also owner occupier. We're seeing a lot of people buying these to get the golden visa and then use it whenever they come to Dubai. Entry level for the 2 beds start at $1.5 million up to 2.1. And um, here is the bit that I'm sure you're all interested in. How much can you earn for a client referral? Well, the developer pays 5%. So on a $2.1 million investment, the apartment would make that you would make a 30% referral fee, which would be $31,300 for referring a client and if they bought an off-plan investment in this project. Any questions so far, or will I keep shooting through?
Yeah,
Yeah.
keep going until the end, and then
Oh,
questions.
fantastic. Okay, so earlier on, I was going through this presentation. I realized I didn't have any information about one of the biggest events in Dubai, which is the arrival of the Wynn Casino in Ras Al Khaimah, which is just an hour outside of Dubai into the north part of the Emirate. And it is estimated to the investment that Wynn have made in this region is estimated to be above $4 billion. So it's going to be the largest single hospitality development in the Middle East. And effectively, what we're having here is these are all of the residential projects that are being developed on Al Marjan Island. And the Wynn Casino is going to be on this part of the island. And what we're seeing is world-class casino floors, luxury hotels and villas, fine dining restaurants, entertainment zones, retail outlets, and private beach access, and lots of beach clubs all around this location. This is going to be a premier party sort of holiday destination. And when the Wynn Casino opens in late 2026 stroke 2027, we anticipate significant tourism to the area. I'm just going to jump through a couple of slides here to get to this stage. So Wynn Casino launching Q4 2026. Actually, I think it's 2027. There is an annual influx of tourists by 2027 of between 4 to 5 million people. There's currently 12,000 apartments, 8,000 hotel rooms. There will be high prestige and price segment of the area. We see a lot of growth in this area. The whole focus of Ras Al Khaimah is about the casino and luxury holiday destination stay. Um, and the Dubai government, or the UAE government, should I say, it's not the Dubai government, is very much focused on quality development and investment protection. So just to go back, this gives you an idea of the look and shape of the island. You have premier projects like the Address Residence. You have Pacific. You have Moonstone, Nikki Beach residences. You've got Nobu residences here. So all of these projects, there's literally too many to list. But if you look at this slide, this is an infographic of all of the residential projects that are launching in this, and many of these are already sold out. So it's been very, very popular. This is one that I've just picked out as a guide for you. Studios here are starting at 1.2 million dirhams. So if you remember, the entry level price for the studio in JVT was just above half of that value, so around 750,000 dirhams. The studio here is 1.2. A one bed is 2 million dirhams, and a two bed is 3.3 million dirhams. And this is a project called Manta Bay, which is right on the tip here of this part of the island. But this, I feel, could well be very attractive to American investors because they recognize the Wynn brand and they know the value that casinos bring to an area whenever they're successfully launched. And when you spend $4 billion on the largest entertainment complex in the Middle East, you can be sure it's going to be a success. Okay, so moving on to comparables for ultra luxury, and this is Mr. C Residences downtown. Your average selling price here is 5,500 dirhams per square foot. Apologies, I haven't put this into dollars, but if I quickly do it, you're looking at just under $1,500 per square foot. Um, ultra prime location in downtown. It'll be a fantastic development, but that's not the one I want to show you. This one is called Casa Canal. It's on Dubai Canal, which is a very prime luxury location. This is selling for 5,500 dirhams per square foot, same price. It's around $1,500 dollars per square foot. Um, Very luxury. And this is The Rings by PMR. These are selling for 6,200 dirhams per square foot. So that's now you're up to over $1,688 per square foot. And these start at like 25 million dirhams. Okay. And this is one of the most luxurious projects in Dubai called the Bulgari Lighthouse by Maras. It's on Jumeirah Bay Island, which is the most expensive piece of land in, I think, the Middle East, but certainly in the UAE. And the average selling price here is 13,500 dirhams, which is you're looking at around $3,600 per square foot. However, this is the project I wanted to tell you about. It is an absolutely unique project. It's called Maraba Vale, and it is selling for 3,100 dirhams per square foot. And if I convert that into dollars, you're looking at now at 3,000. Is that right? That's right. $844 per square foot. And this will be it's just on the other side of the Sheikh Zayed Road, which is the main artery that splits Dubai in two, but it's in downtown Business Bay location. And what you have here is Jumeirah, which is where the beach is, and you have the canal that I was mentioned there, where Casa and a couple of the other ultra luxury projects are being developed. And this is called the Maraba Vale. It is a unique building developed by or designed by RCR architects who were awarded the Pulitzer Prize Architectural Firm of the Year in 2017 or 19. And it's the second thinnest building in the world, we believe, or I believe it is the second thinnest building. The thinnest one is in New York. And this has a steel veil curtain that covers the side of the building that can be opened and closed depending on the weather conditions. And it's all about letting the elements in and allowing the apartment to breathe and shelter it from the harsh weather conditions that we get here in the summer. So unique opportunity, exceptional payment plan. Over 50% of the apartment is paid over the construction period and 50% on handover. So it's broken down 5% on booking, 10% when you sign the SPA, and then 10% every year until you get to December 2028, which is when the 50% is paid. I've just sold one of these for 16 million dirhams. And my investor or my client has bought a two bed with incredible views, and he's already talking about upgrading it to a three bed with a pool. Now, just a few of the experiences you get, or the few of the amenities that you get here. It's really is a very unique product, but it's 380 meters tall, 73 floors, and a total of 131 residences. And your your service charge here. Oh, sorry, yeah, your service charge is 38 dirhams per square foot, which for a building of this quality and this prestige is actually quite reasonable. The property that I live in, the price per the management charge is actually 44 dirhams per square foot, so it's extremely expensive compared to this. And what I'm doing here on this one is if you have any clients that would be potentially interested in this, We can jump on a video call. We can do a presentation with them. We can do the presentation with the developer. And for this one, there is a 35% referral fee. So that would be on a two-bed entry price apartment. You're looking at 262,000 dirhams or $71,000 as a referral fee. So for this project only, it's 35%. Normally, it's 30%. But yeah, so that is, I guess, a whistle stop tour of Dubai. And we've covered entry level, we've covered Ras Al Khaimah and the casino and the entry level there, and the ultra luxury end of the market. I can go into another 3 or 4 slides, Nathaly, if you want, on how to sell Dubai, or we can just go straight to questions, or happy to take your lead on that.
You can keep going, and then we can, at the end, we can
Okay,
open for questions. Thank you.
super. So I would pitch Dubai as an investment story, not just as a location. Highlight Dubai's fundamentals, its tax-free environment, the golden visa, very strong rental yields, and the global lifestyle appeal. Compare returns and entry prices with your local market. Look for the right type of investors. A lot of immigrants in the US are buying up properties in Dubai. We're seeing a lot of US Indians and Arabs who've been in the US for many years and are looking at Dubai as an investment option because they understand the market, and they understand, or they have family here. Business owners, professionals already familiar with cross-border investing in the UAE. Um, Potentially use community links and associations and business club networks to reach people who would be open to overseas investment. And I would definitely encourage you to reach out to any past Indian or Arab clients that you have, because they'll be much more open to an investment in the Middle East. I like to build I like to do education before pitch. So I host webinars where I explain how to invest in Dubai step by step. I've got lots of guides that I can share on financing, ownership rules, and payment plans in a lot more detail. And obviously, the more confident the client feels, the more likely they are to move forward. And I think it's really important to leverage your local brand, sell the Dubai expertise. So you don't need to be a Dubai expert. You can position yourself as a trusted local contact who opens the door, and then use your credibility at home to introduce Dubai opportunities, and then lean on your EXP Dubai partner for more details and helping you close. And often what I'll do is, if we get, what I've done in the past is we'll have video calls and webinar or video calls with investors. I'll really understand what their requirements and needs are, and then I will bring maybe 1 or 2 developers onto the call, and they will be able to ask much more questions about the project or the projects that we're involved with. And it really gives investors a lot of confidence whenever they're talking to the actual developer of the project. And obviously, just package. I don't like to overwhelm my clients with too many options. We create 2 or 3 investor packs, and whether that's luxury waterfront villas or apartments or city apartments or branded residences. And I tend to use a Notion document which they can log into, that's specific for them, that investor, and it'll be tailored to their requirements, with all of the brochures and videos and everything they need to go away and really study the investment themselves. So I have sold so many properties over video to investors who've never been in Dubai, or who have been once or twice but didn't come to actually invest or sign in the dotted line. That's the great thing about Dubai. You can buy from your home in Canada, the US, Europe, or the UK. You don't actually have to be here. So that's it. Let's any questions? Thank you for your time, and yeah.
Thank you, Michael. And yeah, if you guys are want to open your mics and we can get started with questions, or if you have any in the chat as well.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike. Yes, I do have a few questions. Um, I'm Shabad. I'm located in Canada, in the Atlantic Canada, to be
Hi,
precise,
Shiva.
in the province of New Brunswick. Hi. Um,
Hi.
your presentation was very good. Actually, one of the best ones I have seen so far. I have been very interested in Dubai's market, and I have been investigating for last several months. You
Mhm.
definitely touched on a lot of items that I was looking to get information on. Because one of the thing is that for me, satisfaction of my clients is very important, and I am the kind of a person who believes in educating my clients so they can make the decision. And this is why I have asked these questions to multiple people who I've met with related to Dubai's real estate, is how can I educate myself? Because if I have the same level of knowledge as someone can get when they Google something, then there is no point in them talking to me. I mean, might as well they just go to
Absolutely.
Google and do it, right? But everyone keeps
Yeah.
telling me that, you know what, if you have clients, you just bring them on and you get the referral fee. But I don't like to do business that way. I want to be
No,
knowledgeable
I
enough so I know more from any ordinary individual, and then I can help them, navigating this. So you touched on that, and I
absolutely.
would definitely like some of the information, because my plan is to host the events here, webinars here, where I can invite everyone. I'm going to educate them, talk to them about the pros and cons of investing in Dubai, and then let them
Yeah.
make those decisions. So I guess I would have to do some catered needs assessment based on the audience that I'm dealing with. And if
Yeah.
you don't mind, I would love to kind of get in touch with you directly and see how we can do that. Uh,
Amazing. Well, sorry.
no, no, I just had some questions, but I'll let you talk.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll ask some questions after.
No, far away, far away. I'll come back to the point that I was going to make in this
Okay.
afterwards. But yeah, far away with any
So
questions at all.
so some technical questions related to the content that you have covered is that you talked about the yield, right? Is that yield
Yeah.
about if I am booking a property today for which I'm going to get the possession in 2 or 3 years from now? Just hypothetically, I'm spending $200,000 just for the sake of it. Are we talking
Yeah.
about yield in the sense where after 3 years, by the time I'll take the possession, it will appreciate by that percentage, or are we talking about the yield in the terms of
No.
renting the property?
So the yield projections that I've made are based on today's rental figures.
Okay.
And but they're assuming that you're going to be taking occupation of the property in, let's say, 2.5 years.
Mm.
So uh, it, I want to come back to what you said earlier about being more knowledgeable than your clients, and uh, uh, one of the things that I'm very open and honest with my investors about is that there is potential oversupply in certain areas of Dubai, and so I'm very black and white with people when I talk to them about investing here. There are projects in areas like Business Bay and in JVC, for example, where there is, on paper, they look really good. But the reality is, I have concerns about an oversupply of apartments, certainly within the next 2 to 2.5, 3 years. Now, with the way the population is growing in the UAE, I think that will sort itself out over the next 5 years. But in the short term, I think we'll see in some areas a less than attractive yield because the tenants will have so much choice for those particular areas. So I'm very honest with my investors about that risk. Now, JVT, which is the one that I shared, I'm quite confident that we'll see good yield on that, and I'm basing that projected yield of between 5.5 to 6.5, maybe 7% gross yield on the current rental income that is being achieved in the market. I would say that if you have an investor, though, who was who was interested in investing, if they're not investing in ultra luxury, then townhouses and villas are a much safer investment than a studio or a one bed, regardless of where it is. Now, one of the things I didn't touch on in this presentation is Abu Dhabi, which is also a very interesting city and has huge growth potential. And so, what I'm actually saying to some of my investors who are coming to me with a budget for only a one or a two bed apartment, that they should consider Abu Dhabi as an investment play rather than some of the locations that they're looking at in Dubai. So, it all depends on the investor and it all depends on what their long term growth is or their long term strategy is. But it's just about, in my opinion, just being as open and honest with investors as you possibly can be on the
Sure.
risks with investing in the market, right?
Right,
So
right.
it's knowing what areas you should you should stay away from and which areas you shouldn't stay away from. And nobody's going to tell you that on YouTube, or nobody's going to talk about that on Instagram, or it's going to be very difficult to find that information out without having a local contact that you can trust and work with. And that's where you'll gain the advantage over just the average punter who's reading or watching stuff on YouTube, because they're not getting the full story, because everybody's trying to sell you something on YouTube. But the reality is that actually there are areas of Dubai that I would not invest in myself. I hope that
Yeah.
answers your
No,
question.
that's true. It does. And are there any sort of I was watching some Facebook and YouTube ads where basically people talk about guaranteed tenants for a year or 2 years, whatever, right? So, how does it works for someone like I'm sitting in Canada, if I'm the investor and I have no plans of settling in Dubai, this is a pure
Yeah,
investment for me. So how
yeah.
will all those logistics work? Like, who is gonna
So
make
that,
sure that my place is rented and all that?
yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, there's first of all, there's no guarantees in life, so I wouldn't say there's any guarantees on the on like anybody that's guaranteeing rental is. I would say I would tend to stay away from that sort of thing. But in terms of getting a tenant, then that's something that both any number of agents within EXP can help us with. And we would take over that sort of role of helping your investor get a tenant. And then you bring in a management company to manage the property. Um, I what tends to happen is an agent will find a tenant, the tenant will move in, and then the tenant will pay anywhere between 1 and 6 checks to the landlord, and they're paid up front. Sometimes the landlord will say that I want one check, and he will cover the tenant will cover the interest or the rental income for the year, or the
Right.
tenant or the landlord will say I'm happy with 4 checks, and then the tenant will pay 4 times over the year. And that is the agent's responsibility to manage that process. But this whole market is set up for international investment. So there are many very reputable management companies that you can use. Now, I've gone through a
Right.
few of them myself, and sometimes you have to kiss a few frogs to find the best one. But generally, as in all of cases, they start out well and then maybe start to slip and not provide the best service, and you get your agent to find another one, and you put another management company in. But as an agent, if I'm selling somebody an off-plan investment that's handing over, I'm looking after that agent or that investment for my landlord, because I want to keep them happy and make sure that their experience is good.
Right. Right. Are there also something like assignment clauses that we see here in Canada when you are taking on the property that's being built? It's going to take 3 years for the project to complete, but 1.5 year down the road, I decided I don't want it. Am I able to assign my
Yes,
uh,
the way it works here is the government require the investor to pay a minimum, I believe, of 30-40% of the investment value. And the reason for that is to stop investors from taking betting on the market to flip properties. So they want the investor to be able to have paid at least 40% of the investment, and then the investor is allowed to then transfer the ownership of the contract to a new investor after 40% has been paid. Typically it's 40. In some cases it can be 30, but normally it's 40. And so that stops speculation within the off-plan market. And so nobody is buying properties using a credit card and then trying to flip it on to somebody else,
Yeah.
6 months or 3 months or a month later, and trying to make a margin on that. The investors that are buying are investing with their cash, and they have at least 40% to invest. So yeah, that assignment is
Cool.
available as long as you've paid 40%.
Cool. Okay, cool. I have a lot of other like nitty-gritty questions, but I guess I don't want to take up the time here. I'll let others ask questions. I'll get in touch with you directly, just for more planning and things like that.
Sounds good.
The only last question I have is, this is kind of a bit of an off topic. Do you ever get questions about what's happening with the climate, global warming, Dubai being a coastal city? Are there any risk people talk about pertaining to that, like rising sea levels? I know this is a bit off topic, but I'm just curious.
No, it's a good question. It's
Yeah.
not something that any investors have asked me about. The climate is the climate. Dubai is very much geared towards coping with the heat. The truth is, a lot of people leave during the summer, which is when the heat really gets intense. But it's unlike cities like London, for example. Whenever we have extreme weather, the whole city shuts down. Dubai is very capable of running very, very successfully. We've no issues with regards to rising tide or rising sea levels. The one area that I would not highlight, but say is a bit, is sometimes the air quality is not seen as great in Dubai. But it can be, it tends to be only in the summer. It gets a lot better from September, October onwards for at least 5 or 6 months. So, that's the only criticism I have of the climate. It's the air quality. But it's for those summer months when it gets really, really hot.
Cool. Very good. I'll keep it here. Thank you again for all your time and
Thanks
presentation.
for the
I'll let
questions.
others
I
ask the
appreciate you coming
questions.
on.
Thank you.
Awesome, great questions. Anybody else has any other questions before we close the call?
Oh, yeah, me. I just there is any way or the phone number or how we contact you, because the time is almost over, and yeah, I
Yep.
have also some questions. I have a couple of people that might be interested, but the same that Shabahat. I just need more information to provide to them, so I want to show up as an expert, or at least I know what I'm talking about when I
Of course.
offer properties. So if you share
Absolutely. Well,
your
I think is my screen still being shared, or is it?
No, but we can share if you have you want to share again, so you can leave
I'll
it
share it again 1 second.
for recording.
So you can take a photo of that.
Perfect. I can put it also in the
Give me a
chat
follow on Instagram.
in WhatsApp. So I'm gonna put a screenshot in the WhatsApp group if you guys are in there right now. And Michael, feel free to also share your as a contact in WhatsApp as well.
I will indeed, yeah.
Perfect. Do you have any questions for here, Luz Maria, just in case? So it's in the recording because many people will have probably similar questions before we close it.
No, I really appreciate for the information. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? 1, 2? No. Okay, perfect. So I share the screen. Let me here. I share the screenshot of your contact info in the chat. You can contact Michael directly. I'm going to stop the recording and you guys can see this in YouTube, and it's also going to be posted in school.
There is
The whole invest. Yeah. Just the whole investment, so that way, just to run the numbers.
Michael, may I answer the question?
Yes, please do, Summer. Yeah.
No
Thank you,
problem.
Summer.
I'm Michael's colleague from AXP in Dubai, so we work together on some things. It's good to know some data to make sure everybody has all the data. For management of properties remotely, you can do a management contract by the agency, which roughly ranges between 5% of the annual rental up to 12% of the annual rental, depending on the property and the amount of work needs to be done. That is a separate fee from the service charges, which is payable to the building maintenance and upkeep. So that's an additional cost in case you want to do it completely remotely. And that is a standard thing. There are companies that will find you the client, will vet the client. We will have more of that happening like you would in the Western world to check the credit ratings of the client or if they have any issues in the past. But the fee can range between as little as 5% and as high as 12%. But that's the ranges of management fees that are available in Dubai.
Thank you, Summer, for clarifying that. I'm just the reason also is we're helping clients like in different countries, like buying in Mexico, Florida, and other areas, right? And like for example, Florida was going like if I'm correct or updated, is like about management fee or the cost of managing a property with everything in it. It would be about 25%, 25%. It can go up to 25% of the return on investment annually for a property. So that way we can compare Dubai with all of the cost of that investment. It's just to run the numbers. At the end, what's the NOI? Yeah.
Yeah, what I can do, Michael, is give you a complete breakdown of all of the costs from buying the DLD to the DLD fee, which is the only government fee that you pay when you buy, right through to the management fees. So I can give you a full breakdown, and you can
Love it.
then take that and compare it.
Yes. Thank you so much, Michael and Samar. Appreciate it.
Michael, we can also put
Thank
that
you.
in the school if you have that example. So it's an
Yeah.
attachment to the class, and that way anybody can have access to a snapshot of that.
I was going to say, the link that I tried the link. It doesn't seem to. It didn't work for me, Nathaly. When I did a screenshot of that link, school link that you showed at the start, but maybe it was my problem at my end.
For which, oh, for school?
It was
Yeah,
not
for school.
working too when I scan it.
I'll send it again
Yeah.
in the chat that we have
Yeah.
here, and also post it here as well. I think it's good to differentiate Michael's HOAs. Maybe the tax fee when you buy the property, that's a different, tax. So once you finish paying, the property, we have the HOA, we have the maintenance, and then we have the managing if it's a rental income like an Airbnb, because at least for us, we have a HOA in our Mexico properties that is fixed. And then we have the managing fee that if we don't rent it to anybody, somebody needs to come and open the door and make sure nothing is flooding. We pay a
Yeah.
fee for that. And then we have the Airbnb or managing fee that is active. Somebody needs to go in, wash the dishes, the cleaning after people come in and out. So that's a vacation rental. And I think you're talking about that 25%. And what Samir is talking about is the maintenance, maybe.
Yeah.
And
So
the
the
long
Airbnb.
rental is a long rental instead of a short-term rental.
Yeah. Yeah, the Airbnb rental fee could be between 15 and 17%, and on a short-term rental. So yeah,
So once we have that differentiation, probably we can have more targeted.
I'll break it down.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Okay.
Michael, I sent you by WhatsApp a small video, maybe a minute or so on Instagram for the Wynn Casino. If you like, show it if the time avails.
Also, if you guys have any material and if anybody wants to be tagged in any material that you guys share, please do leave your Instagrams, Michael and Samir, that you guys are in Dubai, so they can follow you and maybe reshare your content or ask for a collaboration tag. That way it shows in both places. So if Michael or Sabat had any clients, as you guys are posting, maybe it shows on their wall too, and then that's when they get asked questions and then when they come to you for more information. That always works with us when we're doing international real estate, because we're posting,
Brilliant.
tagging a lot of, at least you can at least put 5 collaborators, and then they will get it on their wall. So they can push to their clients as well, as if it was theirs, but they're going to come back to you for the sale.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think
Just to be clear, everybody